Aye, you'll be needing an ambulance after I'm done with you wee cow.
So, Ratchet was a great guy, wasn't he? Ratchet was the Autobot medic in the original series, fixing the Autobots' many boo-boos with big old energon plasters. He wasn't a fighter at all, really. He just hung about in the Ark, waiting to see what state his pals came home in, like the neglected wife of a drunk. Except that poor wife was married to 20 drunk guys who managed to fuck themselves up every single time they left the house. You're a good man, Ratchet, but who's going to fix you, eh? Are you not tired of fixing everybody else? Can we get a spin off rom com movie setting Ratchet up on a date? The 4 billion-year-old virgin, maybe? So surely our non combatant mechanical medical man would have been a surefire bet to survive the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. No, not at all. His death still haunts the children of the 80s until this day. Alongside Ironhide, Ratchet was brutally shot to death in excruciating detail by Starscream wielding Megatron whilst a rocking 80s hair metal tune played. The same thing happened to Ratchet in Michael Bay's Age of Extinction when he was murdered by Lockdown. Except this time, nobody cared. Fuck you, Michael Bay. Even his run in the Marvel comic was brutal. Due to a teleportation accident, poor old Ratchet became fused with Megatron and became this. Ugh, truly a fate worse than death. It was therefore very refreshing to see Ratchet in one piece in the Travis Knight Bumblebee movie. Not only did Ratchet manage to not die or become a walking abomination to God, but he had the first line in the movie. Well, it was his only line in the movie, to be fair, but didn't he look great though? Seeing how Hasbro are taking seemingly forever to release the Studio Series 86 Ironhide repaint of Ratchet, seriously, hurry up, just take my money already. I decided to get this lovely fella from my ever-growing collection. This is Studio Series Bumblebee movie Ratchet, and he's quite a dashing fellow, isn't he? You can instantly tell who this is meant to be, even though old Ratchet has been given a serious makeover. All the detail you remember is still there, like his funny wee pointy headband, his smashing tit window, and these cherry red accents. Everything has just been given some more mechanical detail as opposed to the clean and smooth G1 look. I love his sticky up shoulder pads, they really give him some beef. He's also looking much sleeker than his dad-bodded G1 self. Like Ratchet has ditched the pies for protein powder. The only scientist and medic I can think of with a body type like this is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Junior. Before the pregnancy, obviously. There is a couple of things that I'm not that into. Ratchet's face gives me the fear. He reminds me of the woman who got sucked into the supercomputer in Superman 3. She used to give me night terrors. Horrific. Ratchet also feels super light, like a strong fart might blow him clean across the room. This is mostly due to a bad case of hollowitis. Ratchet's forearms and calves are as hollow as the moon. Yeah, the moon is hollow. That's where the reptilian Hasbro overlords are staging their plot to take over the Earth. They'll come down here, they'll take our women, they'll eat our babies, while they distract the menfolk with their nostalgia-themed toys. Wake up, sheeple. They're already here. They're already... Sorry about that. All Ratchet's joints are unfortunately as loose as your mum. It's not too bad. You can definitely get him to do what you need him to do, but it just makes him feel cheaper than the sturdy Studio Series Ironhide mould. The only thing that worries me about Ratchet is that dreaded Transformers incurable disease, yellowing. Quite a few fellas in the past couple of years have went from a pristine white to looking like they've smoked 40 snout a day for 3 decades. This is even happening with the expensive fellas like old Netflix Soundwave, who is going to be sealed in a hermetically sealed box after this so his beauty can last forever. Apparently, this is due to dodgy plastic used by Hasbro, the cheapskate bastards. We have been told that future figures shouldn't suffer so much, but I can already see Ratchet's thighs are on the turn a bit. So in a year or so, he might be confused for yet another Bumblebee figure. You know, because Bumblebee's meant to be yellow. Ratchet is turning yellow. Am I going to have to explain all these jokes here? Fuck's sake, man. So Ratchet overall is a decent representation of our meritorious mechanical medic. He does have his faults though, but don't we all? So can his transformation redeem our old chum and make him a must-buy? Maybe. Ratchet turns into this tiny wee personnel carrier. It is so cute. I can't believe that beefcake robot can be compacted so much. It's like getting 1980s wrestler and Hulk Hogan's bestest brother of all time, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, in a small travel suitcase. Ratchet makes full use of his hollowness and does some proper plastic origami to achieve this teeny tiny form. Despite being just a tad shorter than Studio Series 86 Ironhide in robot mode, Ratchet's wee vehicle mode looks tiny in comparison to Ironhide's minivan. It looks like you could get the whole squad inside Ironhide, pack him full of booze, and head off on a lovely wee lad's holiday round the country. Ratchet, meanwhile, looks like he would only fit one small filler and only a tiny bit of booze, which would make for a much less interesting and a far more depressing holiday. Don't get me wrong though, I'm loving Ratchet's Hulk mode. It looks like a tiny version of the APC from Aliens. Maybe this is what ambulances look like in the Alien universe. Nice to know what would bring you to the Weyland-Yutani medical facility when a facehugger attaches itself to your dome and puts its wee jimmy down your throat. Great stuff. So, should you get Studio Series Bumblebee Ratchet? I'd say yes. I think he's the best mainline Ratchet available just now. Both the Siege and Earthrise ones can fuck right off. Plus they're going for silly money in eBay. When Hasbro does finally release the 86 Ratchet, at least this wee fella will still be worth keeping about for that adorable alt mode. Did you know kids these days are using the word ratchet to refer to getting absolutely pissed? Well, I think you could do way worse than getting pure ratchet and waking up with Ratchet beside you. I wouldn't kick this nice wee fella out of bed. In fact, I'd make him a nice breakfast, then politely ask him to leave, before spending the rest of the day hunched over the toilet, vomiting. This is the reality of hangovers in your 40s. Grim. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Catch you later.